When I woke up this morning, I had all plans of going to garage sales, but things changed and I ended up at this estate sale. This item stuck out to me as soon as I walked into the room, and I listed this and it sold within hours. This was the only comp that I could see, but I knew $9 was not enough money for that. Honestly, I probably could have priced it for more than $19.99. Check out that carpet. There's hardly anybody at the sale. I was actually at a garage sale here a couple weeks ago. I've never found one of these that was very valuable. This one is worth about $40, maybe a little less. This was one of the higher comps and they wanted $20, so I did not pick that up. But whenever I see any of those vases, I always Google image them. Books. Blue, red. This carpet is amazing. So these shelves over here were the main reason why I came to this estate sale. I was hoping that they would have some vintage toys with some resale value, but unfortunately, nothing on this shelf really caught my eye. Nothing I felt was worth buying to resell, especially at the prices they had. This oversized Ralph Lauren luggage is for personal use. I always pick up these pieces when I find them. I have a really large set that I like to add to, and I plan to use this one to take my lights with me when I travel. I paid $4 for this, and I figure I could probably sell this for somewhere around $40 if I decide I don't want to keep it. When I flipped this over, I noticed it was made in China, so I didn't even give this a second look. And now when I looked up comps for this video, I realized that maybe I should have went ahead, used Google Image. It's super easy to look something up with Google Image, and I probably would have picked that up. Okay guys, complete change of plans. I didn't realize how far I live from M24, and I don't want to get to my grandpa's house super late, so we are going to estate sales today. There are 4 on the list, so we're going to try to get to all of those as quick as possible. I need to quit doing this. I check out this percolator and then I tell myself, I'm gonna come back, look it up, I'm gonna see what else is in this closet, and then I'll come back, look it up, see if it's worth picking up, and then I end up finding a Bolo in the closet, so I totally forget to go back to that percolator and see if it was worth picking up. I have a feeling that it probably was, but now for the life of me, I cannot remember what brand it was. So I find the 2 Bolos down here and I pay $2.50 total for them, and I don't show them because I did share this in my group that people pay to be a part of, but I'll sell these for around $75. I pick up mop refills all the time. They're super fast money and some of them can sell for quite a bit. This one I paid 50 cents for it and it should sell quickly. Now this one I picked up just because of the graphics. Whoever buys this, I doubt they're going to use it, but this would be a really great display piece. Now this is another bottle that I picked up because of the graphics. This one is full, and when I checked comps, it looks like there's a couple that sold for between $20 and $25. So I priced mine right along with the comps. I'm still on my kick where I just do not want to pick up large items. I'm sick of shipping them, so that's why I didn't even look at this box fan, because I knew if it was a good brand that I would probably end up picking it up. I shipped one of these last year and it was probably one of the most stressful items that I've ever shipped just because of the plastic grate. I was so afraid that was going to crack during shipment. I was checking the tracking every single day. $30. So it would be $15 today. I hate buying heavy stuff, but I think we're gonna buy this. I think. So obviously I bought the Filter Queen and I decided just to part it out to make it easier on myself to ship, and I'll make more money that way. That hose sold super fast. I believe it sold within the first 24 hours of listing. Once I piece everything out, I should have about $300 worth of listings up, and once they sell, I should profit around $200 to $250. Once I open this up, you can tell this has never been used. The bristles are still brand new, so I'm going to list mine as new open box. So these comps are for new condition. Mine is new open box. I'm listing mine for $50. Since it is half off day, I went ahead and picked up this perfume, even though at this time I couldn't really tell if it was new or not. Once I got it home, I used a flashlight and figured out that about 10% of this has been used. So I will list that one on Mercari and then cross-list it to Etsy. I get asked a lot if I use a cross-listing platform, and I do. I use List Perfectly. I've used them for probably about 5 years now, and I absolutely love their services. When I first started selling on eBay, these casserole dishes are definitely something I would have picked up at this sale, but now I know better. Those are really saturated and sell very slow. I've learned my lesson with these Corning handles. They really aren't worth much, but if you can get 3 or 4 of them together, they'll sell for around $20. I was about to walk into the dining room right here, but it was mostly some boring looking items, and then I remembered there's a basement, and I swear I always find the best stuff in the basement at estate sales. So there's not too much down here in the basement. I really don't want to stick around too long. I think I should get these. And this. I'll have to look. I think these are against eBay policy to sell on eBay. I'm gonna have to look, but I'm pretty sure it's these. But I'm gonna buy them anyway. I'll just sell them on a different platform if that's the case. There's really not too much down here. Yeah, so I actually got quite a bit, especially for half off day. I already looked at everything over here. There's nothing. It's just empty on this side. I think I went through the entire house. This was the only room that I had missed, and this furniture was already sold. But those bubble lights, they are recalled, the older ones. These are the newer version, but I've noticed that a lot of people are getting the newer ones that aren't recalled, pulled from eBay. So I'm not taking my chances, and I'm listing those on Mercari. This is my third estate sale for this day, and I didn't know it was half off day. So when I went to go check out, I only spent $17, but when I'm looking around, I did not know that it was half off day. Had I have known, I probably would have picked up a couple more items. Their stuff was priced very high. They had about 7 Mr. Coffee iced tea pitchers, but they were priced at $15 just for the pitcher. So I did not pick those up, and I probably would have picked those up had I have known they were half off. But even at half off, that's not a lot of profit, so I might have left them behind. Now, I got really excited when I noticed all of this makeup and beauty product in the corner. These were also overpriced. Even at half off, I don't think I would have picked up anything that I left behind. Most of this stuff is used. I did only pick up the stuff that I knew was brand new in the package. Now, some of these bags had a mix, like this one. It has used brushes, but then there are a few pieces of brand new makeup in there. You can't sell used makeup brushes on eBay because it comes into direct contact with the skin. There are other marketplaces that you can sell those used brushes on, but I just don't know how well they would sell, so I decided not to pick them up, even though they are really good brands. I had very little cell service at this sale, so I did pick up the Thrive cosmetic items, even though I don't know much about it. I was able to do a general search just of the brand, and there were about 730 listed, and over 800 had sold, so that's why I picked up those items, just because that brand in itself had a pretty good sell-through rate. This sale, I just kind of threw it in here. This is from a community sale that I stumbled upon last month. I picked up these pencils because I had these as a kid. I thought maybe they'd be worth a little something, but they have a really low sell-through rate, about 25%. I have not gotten those listed yet, but I'm going to list them probably for $6 to $10. Now, this little blow mold had 2 prices. She ended up selling it to me for $8, and I have mine listed for around that same price of that comp. Now, I walk past these at first, but I do come back. I pick these up. It's a mom and the 2 babies, and you plug them in and their heads slowly move from side to side. I have not listed those yet. The mom, her little box on the plug that moves her head back and forth, it's broken. So I have to take that to my dad and see if that's something he can fix for me. I thought for sure this blow mold was going to be overpriced, but she only wanted $25 for it, so I definitely snagged this up. It's in really good condition. I haven't gotten this listed as well. It's kind of just sitting in my garage. I want to check Terapeak and see if I can get more for it during Christmas. She had so much Christmas stuff. She told me she's a big time Christmas collector, and she plans to downsize her collection at her yard sale every year. So I made sure and put this community sale in my calendar so that I know for next year. And then this one is actually an estate sale that they had going on during that community sale, and that's how I found the community sale. I was planning on coming to this estate sale. Now, I did pick up this first set of rollers. This set was only $2.50, and it'll sell for around $25 to $30. And then this set was the exact same price, and this one sells for about $35. Now, my hands were full, so I stopped recording, but I also picked up this curling iron and this cedar set. I have that listed for $20, and I also have this Love Spell listed for $20 as well. I spent $30 total at this estate sale. Now this is my fourth and final stop for the day. And at first when I walked into this house, I just thought these people had a lot of stuff. They had a lot of candles burning and it actually smelled really good. So when I noticed this little basket of products, I went ahead and picked up a few to look up. I thought maybe they would be worth something. Of course, the one I end up grabbing, I looked up for this video to throw up a comp, and it's not worth anything at all. Now, the further I got into the house, the more I realized I should not have picked up anything or touched anything in this house, honestly. Thank God I always have hand sanitizer in my purse and in my car. Only a few items were priced throughout the house. Everything else was basically make a pile and they will just give you a price. But once I walk out of the first bedroom I go into, I decide this is not a house I feel comfortable buying anything from to resell. Before I left this house, I did open that bottom cabinet down there to look at the cleaning supplies just out of curiosity, and there were dead roaches underneath the sink. Now, I have a ton of comments underneath a post I made about this estate sale on my Facebook, and a couple of them mentioned that I buy things from the thrift store and they could come from a home like this, which is totally correct. You never know where the items are coming from when you purchase them at the thrift store, but to knowingly purchase something from a home that is infested with mice and roaches for sure is a totally different story. I would never knowingly purchase items from a home like this and resell them. Now, I didn't realize how bad it was, again, until I leave this bedroom. At this point, I'm still just kind of assuming these people were dirty hoarders, but there's a difference between a dirty house and a house that is just infested with mice and insects. Now, when I touched those hats, I noticed that they felt kind of damp, and so did the papers inside of this dresser. I'm still kind of skittish because of the mouse jumping out in front of me at an estate sale a couple of weeks ago. I was in a barn and the mom jumped out with about 4 babies attached to her back and took off running when I moved a box. I also did not buy anything from the barn at that sale. If I see visual evidence that there is any type of mouse activity at a house, I will not purchase items. Mice use urine to communicate to one another, so I guarantee everything in this house is covered in mouse urine. Ugh. At this time, I'm not even thinking about the items that I have in my hand and that I should just put them down because I know I'm not going to purchase anything from this house. But I think it hits me when I finally get to the living room. I had people on my Facebook telling me that I shouldn't pass judgment, and I'm not passing judgment on anybody. I do realize living like this is a mental disorder. I just can't believe that the estate sale company would take on this sale and that the living family members would feel like it was okay to sell any of these items. Sadly, this is how my great-grandmother lived, and I know people like this, if you even attempt to clean anything, they would have a heart attack. Now, this is what got me right here. These are the tables that the estate sale company came out, and they are covered in mouse feces. So this just shows that any signs of mouse activity it's new. It's not old. You know, sometimes people might have a mouse problem and they take care of it. And maybe because this person was elderly, couldn't clean very well, you could still see evidence. But obviously, this is very active mouse activity. But because I'm a sucker for flatware, I went ahead and checked these out just to see what was here. I did not plan to buy anything, even if these were a good brand. I would not want to transport this. I don't want to put this stuff in my car. I don't want to take it to my house. I have absolutely no plans on buying anything. I just decide to keep recording and keep walking through the house. Now, this is the upstairs bedroom, and if you could smell, if there was like smell-o-vision, you guys would be blown away right now. So I wanted to get out of this room so fast because when I looked in that closet, all I could think of was bed bugs. There were people digging through stuff, You can hear a lady in the background. I was just really surprised that people were willing to buy items from this home. And then I thought too, when I first walked in, I don't know if you guys noticed, there was a lady with a ton of bags and she had a bunch of linens. I also had comments where people were telling me that these items can easily be cleaned and sanitized, which I'm sure they can. A lot of these items are glass, but for me, this is not my vision of reselling. This is not what I want to do. I don't want to have to disinfect items and clean items because I know that they are probably covered with mouse pee or have come in contact with mice or roaches. That's just not fun to me. Now these next few rooms, each room easily had 4 to 5 little mouse nests all over the rooms. They were in boxes, they were in mattresses. It was crazy. I was so afraid to open doors and move items because I just did not want a mouse to jump out in front of me. And everything that you see on these tables and on the floor in this room is part of a mouse nest. That little owl thing was so cool. I definitely would have purchased that had this been a different type of home. Or that knife sitting right there on the edge of the dresser. So this is the floor. Again, this is all pieces to a mouse nest. They definitely had some very cool vintage items, but nothing that I was willing to purchase. This is the bathroom in the upstairs, and I do open a cabinet for you guys. I really like the lighting in here as well. There's 2 lights on the side of the vanity that probably have a resale value for around $100 or more, I would say. And this is my I'm shook face. I'm still in shock that this estate sale company would take this job, but those lights are absolutely beautiful. So is this sink. Now I get brave again and I do open this medicine cabinet. I just have to see what's in there. And I've probably put my phone on my little holder and used hand sanitizer about 7 times at this point. And I'll do it again after I check out this cabinet. So all of this stuff in here is really old. I did look up this Victoria's Secret when I started making this video just because I've never heard of that scent before, and that bottle looks really old, but it's not worth much even though it's a really old scent and it's discontinued and not made anymore. The floors were really questionable in the upstairs as well. Honestly, this house might be condemned or close to it if someone were to come in here and actually inspect it. There's just too much mouse poop in here. I had to wait about 3 minutes just to get into this room. There was a lady sitting on the floor arranging her box so that she could make it down the stairs. So then I started thinking, is it just me? Would you buy something from a home like this? Let me know in the comments how you feel about buying items from places like this and then reselling them. Honestly, if I did not make content about estate sales, garage sales, that type of thing, I probably would have left this house once I walked into the living room and noticed all the mouse poop on the table. I had just opened the cabinet and saw all the dead roaches, so that's when I decided I wanted to get out of this house. But then I noticed there was a basement and I had to go check it out. That's the Michigan basement to the left, and then this is the actual basement. It has not rained in a very long time, and this is flooded, and down there is even more flooded, and I'm just like, get me out of this house, and I head to my grandpa's. Okay guys, I am at my grandpa's waiting for him to get here. So I had posted a couple pictures from that estate sale that I just left on my Facebook, and there were a couple people who were like, you're missing out. So, you know, a lot of people don't want to get dirty. That's why I bring hand sanitizer. I have hand sanitizer too. I do the same things. I have gloves in my car, but there is a difference between a dirty house and a filthy house. That house was absolutely filthy. It smelled like mouse pee. As soon as you hit like the third step going up the stairs, the overwhelming scent of mouse pee just hit you in the face. And there were people actually digging through, and I was just astonished because I know different standards for different people, but I guarantee anything at that house was covered in mouse pee, and who knows what else. Probably one of the dirtiest homes I've been to in a very long time. I know that I would never purchase anything for myself from a home like that, so the last thing I would be willing to do is purchase something, wipe it off, and then sell it to somebody. I feel like the contents of that home just need to be burned, honestly. It was that dirty. I can't believe an estate sale company took that sale. If there is mouse poop on the tables that the estate sale company has set up, that means that that probably happened in the last week or so. And I guarantee that house was infested with mice. And everything felt wet because of the basement. It was like a Michigan basement. Like there was a basement and then a Michigan basement to the side of the basement. And you guys, I don't know if you could tell, but it was pretty much flooded. There was, of course, you could see the little bit of water in the basement that I walked down to, but then there was like a couple steps down, and oh, my grandpa just pulled up. A couple steps down, and then it went into the Michigan basement, and that was absolutely flooded. Like there was no way I was stepping down in there. And I had like my yucky shoes because I knew I was going to some estate sales today, so I wore a pair of shoes that I don't really wear, but my feet would have been soaking wet. So I'm gonna end this right here. Gonna visit with my grandpa and maybe hit some garage sales. I don't know, but that was a lot. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys on my next video. Hi, Papa.
Who's there? No mail.
No mail?